Just want to quickly talk about one of the big changes that we've seen in sales quite a lot is the rise of AI and automation in the sales cycle. Now, you've already mentioned that how much, I mean, I get stuff every single day and it's mostly garbage, right? As soon as you have a title that's founder, like you'll get as well. I mean, you just get so much stuff get put through. But where, in your opinion, do you think AI or automation can benefit from a sales? Because I've got to the point now where it's more of a hindrance in a lot of cases than it is a help, certainly from an email perspective. But it'll be great to hear sort of your view on that.
So there's two very different things, really. Some of the automation, particularly in terms of being able to, there's the very simple stuff like setting up a series of posts on LinkedIn to be published on certain dates. That's fantastic because it means you can plan a month ahead and you've got it all ready to go and it saves you time. And then there's the sort of getting a little bit more complicated, the likes of HubSpot and some of the email tools where you can set up a sequence. So if someone has responded a number of times, you might send them these other pieces of value or these other things, and that's very useful. There's the sort of tracking automation, which is massively valuable. So being able to see if someone opened an email, went to your website, or has come from a social feed, that's so important, because if someone's actually done something, then they're clearly a higher value lead than someone who's perhaps just opened something. So there's that sort of simple tracking automation type things. And then when we get into AI, for scale up companies, some of the design tools are very, very useful for, we've all seen them, things like Canva. They're very useful because it makes it affordable for things to look good. And it is important that things look good. And even, the most famous one of all, ChatGPT, is very, very valuable if people are looking to research a topic that they want to write about. It's a really helpful research tool. Although half the time you do find that the sources, you click through to them, they don't exist, or there's something a bit dodgy about them. But it is, I don't think you can use it to write your material at all. I really don't. But it's verbose at the best of times. But it's these things are all useful research tools, and I would say use these tools, but you need to have a human in charge, making sure that there is a plan, and there's a plan which remains very, very focused on your target audiences. And there's a plan that keeps your brand messages intact so that all of your business sings with one voice. So they're going to get better and better, these tools, aren't they? But it is definitely enabling smaller scale up businesses to do more for less. There's no doubt about that.
No, I completely agree with that. Especially, I mean, you mentioned things like Canva, to make things look professional is something that I use a lot. The background that we're seeing now, a lot of that's been built with Canva, and as well as my design team. So shout out to Glue, by the way, with all my branding if they're watching. But in terms of the thing is that I have the biggest problem with is using it for sort of mass scale outreach. Now, I'm going to ask you what your biggest sort of pet peeve is at the moment in sales, but let me give you mine first, just so you have an idea where I'm going with this. So I've spoken to a number of, email marketing agencies saying they'll get hundreds and thousands of emails out there over the course of the day. The biggest thing that always annoys me is if they say, oh, it's all a numbers game. Sales is just a numbers game. We can get, if we send out 10,000 emails, we can get you 10 leads because you'll get an open rate of 1% or whatever, right? Now, that really, really annoys me, because all you're doing like that, you're treating potential customers as nothing more than numbers. And you're actually saying that, okay, well, you may have got 10 leads out of it, but if you've sent thousands of emails, you've actually potentially turned off thousands of customers. But you're open purely on that. You only focus purely on the leads that you get that might not be great anyway. They might not come in. You potentially lost a lot of business in the first place by people thinking that you're now more than spam. And it's just the phrase of sales is just a numbers game. It's not. For me, sales is still a people's game, right? The one issue I have again with this, going back to this, video conferencing, which is ironic because we're recording this video today, is that sales seems to be becoming in certain places a lot more transactional rather than a people business. So I don't know what your sort of thoughts are on that, or what is your main sort of bugbear or sort of pet peeve at the moment in the marketplace?
Well, I mean, yes. I mean, I get those. Given the business I'm in, I think it's quite funny when people send me stuff trying to tell me they're going to sell more for me. But the lack of relevance is the thing that's really quite insulting, because that says that people haven't spent the time to understand the outcomes of the audiences that they're trying to sell to, and why these things matter. So I think email is an incredibly valuable tool. In fact, I've had a client in the last year that's a technology company, a cybersecurity company, that's been getting 50% open rates and 20% click-through rates on cold mail, which are extraordinary. But the email is based on interviews with clients, understanding what their problems are, and solving the problems that matter to them, because they can only buy if you're solving a problem that's in their KPIs and that's in their budget. So it's that level of relevance which is really important. So people who just chuck stuff out the door, the leads you get are going to be really poor quality anyway. So it's a waste of money, and that's really, we're back to where we started. Really, my mission is to destroy these people, because to be honest, they're bastards. What they're doing is they are ripping off the desperate. They're ripping off people, or the unwary. They're ripping off businesses that need some sales without helping the business to get in shape to be successful, and that is just the worst. Because it's a short-term deal where they take the money, and the business is the business is worse off at the end of it, because they've spent the money, but they aren't better off in terms of where they are to go forward. So I'm kind of with you, really, that I'm really that people using this technology just to do volume stuff. No. That's just not how it works.
Yeah, fully agree with you. So let's keep this sort of final questions a bit sort of simple now. So you go into a brand new client of yours, scale up. They've engaged with you to help with their sort of growth strategy. What's the first thing that you sort of recommend to them? The biggest thing you go in straight away. Say, look, here's the main recommendation.
Well, the first thing is I say, well, we have to diagnose the problem and understand what it is. Because normally someone will come to me and say, I want to sell more of X. And you go, well, that's fine, but let's understand what the problems that solves for your clients. That's some client interviews. How you look compared with your competitors. So what are they saying? What's different about you? How are we going to go up against them? Let's look at your marketing now to understand the story it's telling and see the difference between what your clients are saying and what you're saying at the moment. Let's look at the markets you're addressing. Do they have the scale in them that is going to achieve the numbers that you want to achieve? Let's look at your current performance. How long is it taking to to go from nothing to a sale? So do we know those numbers? If we don't know those things, we need to start tracking them, because typically I'm seeing perhaps it's 8 to 10 contacts of some sort before someone gets in touch, and then perhaps 20 or 30 bits of discussion that are going on, if you look at it through HubSpot, whatever you're using, before something turns into a sale. So there's the process of diagnosis, of really understanding where a business is now, and that goes further, by the way, what skills are in the business, because you might have a brilliant marketer, or you may not have a brilliant marketer. You might have a great website, you might not have a great website. You might have a database, you might not have a database. All these things, that gives us a starting position. And then from that, you can build a realistic plan to achieve what someone wants to achieve. And you can go back to people and say, well, okay, realistically, if you want to achieve this goal, these are the things you're going to need to do, and this is the sort of budget you're going to need to actually achieve those things. Alternatively, we might change the plan at that point and say, well, actually, if we could change the plan slightly and focus on this smaller audience over here and still achieve, I don't know, 3/5 of what you want to achieve. So that the first thing is always not to jump to the answer, but to truly understand the market and the business's position and its goals and its budgets, and bring those things together and its people, and then understand what it is that is the right solution for that particular business to achieve the goals that it wants to achieve.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Alan. Couldn't agree more. Right, let's sort of wrap this up with a little bit more information, obviously about you, Alan. Right, so. What does downtime Alan Thorpe look like? Yeah, what do you do once the laptop goes down and the 3 Value Thing t-shirt comes off and you can?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, my lifelong passion has been sport. So I rowed and sculled for 25 years. I was captain of Reading Rowing Club. But then maybe 10 years or so, like so many men of my age, I got into road cycling, and which it becomes very addictive because there's always a lot of cake, there's always a lot of cafes, and there's always a lot of chat. So, I've been doing quite a few long distance events, 100-mile events and this sort of stuff. But to be honest, my range of hobbies is quite wide. I've got a nasty habit of buying old British sports cars for not very much money on eBay, and then restoring them to sort of factory condition. And
nice.
It's very therapeutic when you spend your time at a keyboard to then go and do some welding. It's a nice thing. So my outside of work activities, apart from I've got 2 children at university. 2 children, I can't call them that children. Adults at university. And obviously, my wife likes to see me as well sometimes. My outside of work activities tend to be quite physical, because it's just such a contrast to, and it deploys the brain in a completely different way. But sitting still doing nothing, sitting on a beach is hell on earth to me. But so I'm always busy, but just doing different things.
Absolutely, that sounds great. So look, I think that should just about do it for today. So look, Alan, again, huge thank you for spending time with me today. And look, like I said, I've personally learned a lot from you since I've started Paramount Sales. So I can.
That's kind of you to say that.
Yeah, I can hopefully continue to do so as well. I think you're a great resource. I think for any. First for any B2B company looking to grow, and also someone in the sort of the sales, anyone in the sales industry, if you will. So looking to learn more about the way to do, make sure you follow Alan and 3 Value Things on LinkedIn. He's a fantastic resource. So look, thank you to everyone else for watching or listening to this episode of Paramount Profiles 2. If you like and you watch this on YouTube, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll make sure I'll put our contact details down below if you want any more information on Alan and 3 Value Things, or even myself and Paramount Sales. So for now, again, Alan, cheers, and speak to everyone soon.
Lovely. Thanks, Matt. Good to see you. Bye.
Cheers.